communicator. We have just handed over communications links from the Deep Space Network that we communicated with the crew through from the time of the translunar injection burn back on April 2nd. We've just handed back to the tracking and data relay satellite system as we prepare for the crew module service module separation that will take place just 17 minutes from now.
With the ketchup, I've ripped the whole thing off these days. I used to just rip the tip off, but this feels more efficient because then you can push the entire area of it.
Just one other quick note about the comparison from the Artemis 1 entry profile to the Artemis 2 entry profile, and how that is
means of
serving as
extracting
an
the ketchup.
layer of protection for Integrity's heat shield.
Sometimes I mess it up.
The Artemis 1 entry had an entry range of some 3,178 nautical miles, a very long downtrack, and a very longer period of exposure to heat loads than we're experiencing tonight. It also had that skip entry profile that we discussed earlier, dipping into the Earth's atmosphere, then back out, then back in. It was about 20 minutes
went to the Costco today.
Houston, ComCheck on
ate a piece of pizza and a hot dog and had a drink. With one refill. That's probably a huge amount of calories onto itself.
And there's one of the weather balloons being deployed from the USS John P. Murtha.
That's good for now.
So the Artemis 1 entry had the vehicle.
The update on GPS, we haven't seen a track in yet.
Reed, we are watching. We are starting to get into the window where they may start acquiring, so should be within the next 10 minutes.
Okay, sounds good. We're holding at step 17 and getting ready for CM-RCS hot fire.
And that exchange indicating that we are expecting to acquire data from the GPS system on board. That'll be a navigational tool that will basically tell Integrity's computers that they're on track down the center line of the corridor for the entry interface that will lead them to their
cold fries are so much worse than
the Artemis 1 entry
regular ones.
Exposed the heat shield for about 20 minutes of peak heating. For Artemis 2, we're going to reach a downtrack distance of 1,701 nautical miles from the point of entry interface, with just 14 minutes of duration. And it's basically a different angle of attack, a little bit steeper angle of attack that will protect the heat shield from excessive heat loads. So that is the difference between Artemis 1 and Artemis 2, all designed into this mission to gather data to protect the heat shield. Since the Artemis 3 mission and beyond,
Sailor Moon plushie
heat shield that will allow that
I saw some posts about that
profile to be resumed for
That's
all
cool.
of the future missions coming back from the south pole of the moon when
Is
we
it
initiate
Lumiere
lunar
or
landings.
something? I've only watched
So
portions of episodes of
tracking and data
Sailor Moon.
relay satellite system. That's where we'll have communications for the rest of the flight. Just to give you some time hacks here, we're 13.5 minutes away from crew module service module separation.
Luna.
And just 17 minutes away from the raise burn, that 19-second firing of the
I
thrusters.
mean, that makes sense.
That will basically be the final fine-tuning of the angle of attack for Integrity as it enters the Earth's atmosphere. And once again, a dueling box view of some of the assets that are involved in recovery operations today. The
Integrity, Cabin configured, all crew suited and seated.
Houston, copies.
That confirmation from Reed Wiseman aboard Integrity. As you see the assets being deployed to the splashdown zone. At the time of splashdown, we expect the John P. Murtha to be about 5 miles away from Integrity, keeping a safe distance until we are sure that the vehicle is in the water and upright, and that it is in a good configuration system-wide for the recovery teams to begin to approach the vehicle to erect that inflatable raft.
2 minutes to CM RCS warm-up hot fire.
We're ready.
That call from spacecraft communicator Jackie Mahaffey indicating that we're 2 minutes away from a quick burst of the reaction control system. Thrusters, that will be a hot fire test prior to the separation of the crew module from the service module. The European service module has performed flawlessly throughout this flight. Everything, all the burns that had been prescribed for that service module have been executed on time and without a problem. There is the European flight control room that has overseen the manufacturing, the design of the European service module. They deserve quite a bit of credit on this mission for not only propelling the Integrity and its astronauts toward the moon, but also conducting the fine-tuning of its trajectory to bring it to this point where we are dead spot on down the middle of the corridor trajectory-wise to bring Integrity down for its splashdown in the Pacific just 44 minutes from now.
$5,000 miles.
What you're looking at is a computer-generated visualization based on real-time telemetry from Integrity. Currently traveling about 16,000 miles an hour. Integrity traveling about 16,000 miles an hour.
For the prop cautions, we're taking a look.
Copy that.
Now just about
look at the miles drop
from Earth. Splashdown scheduled 43 minutes from now. We're
Imagine we could do that with cars.
Module service module separation.
I mean, more like not cars, but like some sort of transport tube or something.
We are confirming.
Integrity, we are assessing details, but so far looks like a good hot fire.
Looks good on board, Jackie. Thank you.
And Jackie Mahaffey took the words out of my mouth. I was just about to say that we had a good hot fire test of the thrusters in advance of the crew module service module separation that's coming up just 8.5 minutes from now. This will begin the period in which we will have rapid fire succession of critical activities on board that will lead to entry interface just 28 minutes from now.
First time I saw that, I was like,
the vehicle will enter
Capcom.
the Earth's atmosphere at an altitude of 400,000 feet. The time of entry interface, 6:53 and 30 seconds p.m. Central Time.
I'm sure they used the term well before the company. I mean, I'm not sure, but I'm highly... It feels highly likely. I can look it up.
Integrity's astronauts were awakened at mid-morning to begin their entry preparations. And propulsion officer now reports a good hot fire test in preparation for the crew module service module separation. We're now inside 41 minutes until splashdown.
Integrity Houston, we have confirmed a good CMRCS hot fire. And although we are not seeing GPS acquired yet, you can skip the troubleshooting steps in 157 for now.
Integrity copies.
First use by NASA was early 1960s.
That GPS discussion indicating that we
Capcom, the video game company,
navigational data for
happened in 1979.
Positioning system equipment on board. We just
Capsule
don't have
computer.
It yet, but we will. All of Integrity's systems are in great shape to support its high-speed entry into the Earth's atmosphere. It once again will reach a peak speed of 24,661.21 miles an hour.
You're calling GPS. We at least have GPS 1 looking good on board.
We are confirming.
The guidance, navigation, and control officer here in Mission Control confirming we have good lock.
They actually took it from
data.
A NASA-related thing.
On a communications
says,
link
I mean, this is AI, so who knows, but
satellite system. Now,
took its name from the same term used at NASA.
And go to what's called a VLDR, a very low data rate.
The Canadian Space Agency and Space.com note that Capcom's capsule communicators are still used today
we do see good GPS.
for the International Space Station.
We do too, especially GPS 1 is accepting in nav channels 1 and 3.
38 minutes.
That GPS data is basically telling Integrity's onboard computers its position relative to the Earth, but its trajectory and its orientation according to flight dynamics and the guidance, navigation, and control officer is spot on. We have now armed the pyros for the crew module service module.
Will they actually be using
up less than 5 minutes
GPS satellites?
Once again, just 10 seconds after entry interface, we will see Integrity reaching its peak speed of 24,661.21 miles per hour. That will be just seconds before we begin a 6-minute blackout period.
Integrity Houston, your vehicle is in a good config for CMSM SEP and go for CM raise.
Houston, we see the same on board and copy go for CM raise.
That CM raise referred to as the slight firing of 19 seconds by Integrity's thrusters with a change in velocity of 9.9 feet per second, a slight nudge of the aft end of the vehicle so that it's tilted a bit upward, providing the final angle of attack as the vehicle enters the Earth's atmosphere. This being the mitigating factor that will reduce heat loads on the heat shield as we reach a point downrange from the start of entry interface, some 1,701 nautical miles to the splashdown site.
Google has a...
Integrity systems and excellent.
I'm searching on Google AI about the GPS stuff, and it had
3,300 nautical miles
this ship fly across the screen.
Splashdown scheduled 36 minutes
and the browser.
39 seconds from now.
That was cool.
Integrity Houston, for the 2 enabled prop cautions, what happened is while the thrusters were firing, multiple pressure sensors on each of the strings diverged a bit from each other. Those limits look to be set pretty tight. We think it could happen again when the thrusters fire in the future, so we are going to suppress those messages.
We concur with suppress, not inhibit. Thank you.
That exchange between Jackie Mahaffey, our Capcom for tonight, and Reed Wiseman aboard Integrity, indicating basically to ignore sensor data. All of Integrity systems are in good shape.
Huh.
Now, coming up on about 90 seconds till the crew module, service module separation.
Guess I can show this. Just pull up a new window.
All quiet here in Mission Control as we enter the most critical phase of the completion of this flight. All of the preparatory activities leading up to the vehicle entering the Earth's atmosphere just 21 minutes from now. Coming up on 1 minute. Mark 1 minute till crew module, service module separation.
See if it does that thing flying across the screen. Might not do it in this browser. This is in 2021.
And we have confirmation of crew module, service module separation. And a great view, albeit momentarily.
Houston, good step on board.
Houston copies and concurs.
The European service module now separated from Integrity, a job well done.
Integrity, no action for the 4 CDH cautions. Those are SM related, not applicable.
Integrity.
Almost out of frames.
So, with Integrity now flying free on its own for the remaining 32 minutes of this mission. Next up, the raise burn, a 19-second firing of Integrity's thrusters.
Good GPS 2.
Integrity copies, good GPS 2.
Coming up on the 2-minute mark until the raise burn. Again, this is the final tweaking of the orientation of Integrity to put it in the right angle, if you will, the angle of attack that it will fly in during its entrance into the Earth's atmosphere. Entry interface now just 18 minutes, 25 seconds away. This is a visualization, but driven by real-time telemetry. This is the maneuvering of Integrity to the raise burn orientation. Just 2,800 miles from Earth.
That should be good.
Houston, we got a great view of the European service module out the window with the sun hitting the side and the solar rays and the NASA
Nice.
worm right there. It's a beautiful looking machine.
Roger.
And we have completed the maneuver to the raise burn orientation, 1 minute away from the raise burn.
Let's take a look at this. So much of a mess.
And the crew module raise burn is underway. A 19-second firing of the thrusters.
Kind of builds up over doing drink reviews and snack reviews. And not specifically deal with it a lot of time.
Integrity. Good. CM raise burn. Your flight path angle is within limits.
Integrity copies. Looks good on board, Jackie.
So the final maneuver is now complete. Our trajectory for a splashdown in the Pacific 29 minutes from now is set and will not be amended any further. And we have the right angle of attack to mitigate any excessive heat loads on the vehicle during entry interface.
Integrity Houston, a heads up about
using my
coverage.
Costco straw. It is big enough.
When you perform the 180 roll,
I don't want to waste another straw.
In that attitude, we expect about a minute LOS.
We copy.
Let's see.
So for those who are watching the series of events coming
GNSS.
up, we will enter the first
created
traces of
by
Earth's atmosphere.
U.S., Europe,
minutes,
Russia,
seconds
China,
from
India.
now.
Really, they all could actually
6:53
collaborate.
and 30 seconds is what is pegged for entry interface at an altitude of 400,000 feet, traveling at approximately 34,800 feet per second, range to touchdown or splashdown 1,701 nautical miles.
Precise timing for critical
24 seconds
applications.
after entry interface, we will enter a 6-minute blackout period in which we will lose communications with the crew. This is expected due to the buildup of plasma around the vehicle. That's an ionization effect
Spacecraft,
due to the collision, if you will, of the velocity of the spacecraft
near
with the
Earth
friction of the Earth's
have
atmosphere.
long
That
relied
6-minute
on
blackout is
GNSS
expected to begin
signals
at
for
6:53
PNT
and
data.
54 seconds p.m. Central Time. During that period
Spacecraft
of time,
in low Earth orbit,
we will reach our peak speed
below
of
1,800 miles,
24,661 miles
3,000
per hour.
kilometers in
That comes
altitude.
just
Can you
short,
calculate
based
the location?
on unofficial data from the flight dynamics officer right now, will come
Just like people on the ground. Okay.
of the velocity record set by Apollo
That's
10
cool.
of 24,791 miles per hour in 1969.
Stuff stuck in my teeth.
We expect peak heating on the vehicle at 6:54 and 52 seconds p.m. Central Time, a minute and 22 seconds
Provides
into
enormous
entry
benefits.
interface. At that point, we will be just 204,000 feet above the Earth.
Okay, so
traveling
here's
at
a satellite.
33,000 feet per second. The blackout period is expected to last 6
This one
minutes.
here. Oh,
We expect that
no, here's a
blackout period to
spacecraft.
end at 6:59
Here's a
and
satellite.
55 seconds p.m. Central Time.
and it gets ones from different areas that. Okay,
From the end of the blackout period until splashdown, it is just 7 minutes. At which point we'll start deploying the
is
series
my
of
voice louder than
parachutes
theirs? Not really.
to slow Integrity
Test,
down
test,
to an
test.
ultimate splashdown velocity of just 19 miles an hour.
We see the same, waiting for the 180 rolls.
The parachute deployment
1,800 miles to 2,200 miles.
Several segments, but in rapid fire succession.
And we have a great view of the moon out window 2. Looks a little smaller than yesterday.
Yeah, right.
Guess we'll have to go back.
I'm gonna turn them down a little bit so I can talk.
Reed Wiseman and Jackie Mahaffey exchanging discussion on a view of the moon that Integrity's astronauts are seeing in the final minutes of this mission that will be completed with splashdown just 25 minutes from now. 3 forward bay cover parachutes will be used to pull the forward bay cover off the
from the opposite side, Earth blocks the signal, no surprise.
Will be deployed to slow and stabilize the crew module during its descent, followed by 3 pilot parachutes that will lift and deploy the main parachutes from the forward bay. The final sequence will have.
So they're talking about side lobes.
Deployed. These will be 116 feet.
I'm gonna assume it's these. Yeah, these are side lobes. So if the
feet long when reefed,
satellite is here, I mean the spacecraft's here, and you've got your different GPS satellites.
Almost 33 times the speed of
they're shooting a signal outward.
19 miles an hour as splashdown.
And it's getting some of that. And it's going to be around, of course, the whole planet. So
the vehicle is now currently in a roll to the proper attitude for entry interface. Our trajectory is right on according to flight dynamics.
And you need a certain number of them to calculate it.
Integrity is on a trajectory from southwest and northeast across the Pacific Ocean, descending at a rate of 15,000 feet per second.
4.
Range to touchdown 4,300 nautical miles, all the systems in excellent shape.
Integrity, Orion in the EI roll 180 attitude.
Looks good on board, Jackie.
Yeah.
This view out of one of Integrity's windows. We had a call for 3 good barrows.
7 to 12.
Pressure sensors
okay.
That feed.
Yeah, I still have my Garmin GPS. I've had multiple over the years. The one that I have, which I'm not sure where it is at the moment.
We are less than 9 minutes away from entry interface, 22 minutes from splashdown.
You know, it shows how many satellites it connects to. Yeah, I'm not sure where it is. I remember, needing a fair amount.
You can see the reflection of one of the crew members in the window. Out in the Pacific, the weather conditions remain go. Just a few clouds, some scattered clouds. Winds at 10 knots. Wave heights just about 4 feet. A gentle day in the Pacific for the homecoming of Integrity's astronauts.
So this feature here is in the power tools on Windows. So this is called Always on Top. And then you can apply it with the command here while you have it selected. So that's pretty cool.
We see the same on board, Jackie. Houston, purge is complete. Crew and vehicle are configured for entry.
Houston copies.
And we're in step 37, transferring nav state to BFS.
Eyes are kind of messed up feeling.
And Houston, in instruction 509, we are not below 0.2.
Integrity, no action required.
Integrity.
Nav cube.
Now 6 minutes away from entry interface.
What is this?
We will hit the first traces of Earth's atmosphere at an altitude of 400,000 feet, traveling about 34,882 feet per second, ranged splashdown at that
Is this some sort of external camera?
nautical miles.
I don't know what that is.
And once again, just a reminder, some 24 seconds after entry interface, we do expect to lose communications with the vehicle and the crew during a 6-minute blackout period when a plasma shield will build up around the spacecraft due to the ionization, due to heating effects. And Flight Dynamics has just confirmed we will have a blackout period of exactly 6 minutes in duration. And once again, that's due to the fact that a plasma buildup around the vehicle will prevent communications and data.
When you think about that, kind of like with Star Trek, this could be totally different, but those ships have shields and kind of like the plasma going over it. We can ask the AI about it.
That blackout period to begin at 6:53 and 54 seconds p.m. Central Time, and again will last about 6 minutes in duration. We're 4 minutes away from entry interface. This view from Integrity as it crosses from southwest to northeast across the Pacific Ocean,
plasma sheath.
Entry interface. "16.5 minutes till splashdown."
Science fiction shields are often depicted as glowing energy fields that block incoming matter or signals. During re-entry, the air in front of the Orion capsule is compressed so violently that it strips electrons from air molecules created as a superheated layer of ionized gas plasma. So it strips electrons. Just like how shields can block transporters or communications, plasma is conductive. It's like a metal wall.
Just 15.5 minutes from now. All of the activities today have
While plasma itself isn't the primary shield, the ablative heat shield is. Ablative means that it wears away, I think. The plasma bubble physically separates the spacecraft from the surrounding atmosphere. Radiation protection.
Coming up on 1 minute.
It would mimic the Earth's magnetic field. Plasma sheath. Absorb radar waves. Oh wow. Yeah. Invisible to radar.
Mark 1 minute until entry interface.
Epic.
1 minute 20 seconds until the expected start of our 6-minute blackout.
Integrity, 1 minute to a 6-minute blackout.
Theoretical designs suggested using a dense plasma layer to vaporize or deflect small meteorites. I mean, it would depend on how fast they're going, probably. Energy conversion. Regenerative functions, taking the energy from an incoming attack or laser and using it to reinforce the shield's own power supply. Huh. I don't know how that's supposed to work. The reality check. The hurdle is power. Nuclear scale power source. Constant supply of gas.
Now entering the Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah, that would take a lot of material.
400,000 feet, traveling
over time.
34,800 feet per second. Time to splash down 13 minutes 10 seconds.
Oops, I misspelled that.
And as predicted, we've entered our communications blackout. This will be a 6-minute blackout period.
Did I get a drop?
No voice, no data from the crew.
You're in the beta. Click streaming in dual format. Okay, that's not.
We're 30 seconds away
Oh, there
from
we
the
go.
anticipated
NASA
point of
Sparkle
peak heating of
emote.
the vehicle, where temperatures will rise to about 4,000 to 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit.
Let's see if
This
I
is the true test of our trajectory.
got it in my own chat.
And from the G5 aircraft in the vicinity of the splashdown zone, this view...
Maybe it only works in their chat.
So that pinpoint of light shows the vehicle as it enters
Oh,
a
here it is.
period of peak heating in the Earth's atmosphere, the first tug of gravity being felt by Integrity's astronauts
NASA Sparkle.
since their launch back on April 1st.
Sounds pretty good. I like it. Oh, limited time. Pain in the butt. Open
4.5
Twitch.
minutes until the end of the blackout period. Time to splash down 11 minutes, 33
I guess that was it.
seconds.
Let me look at drops.
The landing and support officer reports that the P3 has acquisition on integrity. Three and a half minutes left in this blackout period. This is a visualization of the plasma buildup around the spacecraft and the repelling of that heat on Integrity's heat shield.
I guess maybe that was it.
Flight Dynamics reports that airborne assets in the vicinity of the splashdown zone do have a visual on Integrity. Still 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in our blackout period. Time to splashdown, 9 minutes, 35 seconds. Multiple airborne assets as part of the recovery team all have visuals on Integrity. And the WB-57 flying in the splashdown zone also has a visual. And the Navy helos also have visuals. We're still in the blackout period. Still do not have communications from the crew. We're standing by for communications from the crew. We should be out of the blackout period less than a minute from now. We are now processing data from Integrity. Landing and support officer reports the small boats are en route to the splashdown target zone.
Take a look at, where's my face? Look, it's under the, so I've got a few ideas and I'm bouncing them off of AI.
Passing through
So this one's
feet,
using those type of systems for uploading videos and stuff faster.
Of Integrity, still waiting to establish voice communication.
Integrity, Houston, comm check, post-blackout.
Houston, Integrity, we have you loud and clear.
Your trajectory is nominal and your recovery teams have visual.
I want to probably most likely do some other scripting stuff first.
No action for the enabled internal camera controller fail.
Big cheers from the viewing room here in Mission Control as voice communication reestablished with Commander Reed Wiseman. For America and a waiting world, Integrity is 5.5 minutes away from coming home.
So I'm going to give it all of my code. And then I'll think about ideas of where to...
Passing 100,000 feet now.
Why is that flashing?
Range to splash down 19 nautical miles.
Not great.
Integrity impact to the camera controller fail is no Cab 1 views of the chutes.
Ooh.
Integrity.
We're processing good data through the GPS system. A good view of Integrity. Time to splash down 4.5 minutes. And a view of Integrity from the WB-57. We're at 50,000 feet.
Here for a second. Anyways, I'm doing something. Let's see, Notepad. Never know what's in your notepad. There's the little thing. Oh, parachutes.
And there go the first series of parachutes.
More parachutes.
And we're on drogues.
And Houston, we're visual 2 drogues.
Going pretty quick.
2 good drogue shoots. Next up.
We copy, we see them.
Next up, the deployment of pilot
Man,
parachutes.
what type of camera are they using for this thing?
Time to splash down 3 minutes and 10 seconds.
That's some insane camera work.
Perfect descent rate according to Flight Dynamics.
Good rates on 2 drogues.
We see the same on board.
Passing through 10,000 feet, still on drogues. Main chute deploy. We're at 5,000 feet. Search and recovery beacon has been activated on Integrity. And we have 3 good main chutes.
Ooh.
Good 3 main chutes, good reefing, good descent rate.
Good rates, and we see 3 good-looking parachutes. Integrity. Cabin pressure indicates no need for hydrazine checks.
Integrity copies.
This is a perfect descent for Integrity. Its crew sounding hale and hearty on board. Time to splash down 1 minute, 15 seconds. Integrity about to complete a journey spanning 694,481 miles from its launch from the Kennedy Space Center back on April 1st, and a trip around the moon.
Maybe I could use a overlay.
Passing through 1,000 feet.
Houston Integrity, splashdown, sending post-landing command now.
Splashdown confirmed.
Yeah.
Splashdown, waiting on VLDR.
Splashdown confirmed at 7:07 p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time. From the pages of Jules Verne to a modern-day mission to the moon, a new chapter of the exploration of our celestial neighbor is complete. Integrity's astronauts back on Earth.
Cool.
And the landing and support officer reports the vehicle is stable 1. We still will be deploying the crew module uprighting system to maintain that orientation. A perfect bullseye splashdown for Integrity and its 4 astronauts. The unofficial splashdown time, 7:07 and 47 seconds p.m. Central Time. We'll get that refined for you. That would put the end of the mission at a mission elapsed time of 9 days, 1 hour, 31 minutes, 35 seconds. And we're configuring for very low data rate. Once again, splashdown occurring in the Pacific, southwest of San Diego at 7:07 and 47 seconds p.m.
Integrity Houston, comm check on VLDR.
Houston, we have you loud and clear on VLDR. How else?
We have you the same. We'll meet you over in post-landing.
Perfect communications established.
A journey. We are stable 1, 4 green crew members.
Houston copies all.
Reed Wiseman reporting 4 green crew members. That is not their complexion. That is the fact that they're in great condition. That's what that means. So stable 1, upright. The crew module uprighting system is being deployed. The 5 airbags being inflated through helium to maintain the upright configuration for the vehicle. This was a textbook entry and a textbook touchdown for Integrity. Reed Wiseman, Victor Glover, Christina Cook, and Jeremy Hansen back on Earth after a journey around the moon. We continue to monitor the functioning of the CMOOS system. The airbags are being inflated to maintain a stable one or upright configuration. And there's a good view from one of the naval helicopters hovering overhead. Reed Wiseman reporting 4 green crew members, meaning they're all in excellent shape.
Integrity Houston for SAR beacon and radio.
SAR beacon is in for 06, and we're powering the radio now. Go ahead.
Just trying to adjust this browser window.
We see the beacon on. However, the recovery team is not seeing the signal. Your SAR radio uses the same antenna, so you may run into trouble with the radio.
Okay, copy. We are also powering up the sat phone now.
Probably good.
So Integrity is in great shape, and as the crew continues its post-splashdown timelined activities on board, Reed Wiseman once again reporting that all 4 crew members are in excellent shape. And we have 5 inflated airbags to maintain an upright configuration.
Got so tired feeling.
So that, the recovery team can now begin a slow approach to the vehicle. Meanwhile, here in the flight control room, entry flight director Rick Henfling is polling his team of flight controllers for the start of powering down the vehicle after a thorough systems check. We have no toxic gases to be concerned about, so the recovery personnel can approach the vehicle, but not until we have powered down the spacecraft. That's expected to take a few more minutes.
Oh, my uploads are gone. Whoops. I don't know what I did.
Integrity back on Earth following its historic flyby of the moon. It was, for all intents and purposes, a textbook mission.
On 2828, but I'll remain on this frequency.
We copy.
Reed Wiseman indicating some trouble with the SARSAT phone on board. But that's not an issue. What is more important is that the vehicle is solid. No issues as we begin the power down of the vehicle to begin the recovery process.
Whoops. Just uploaded a flipping zip file to it.
The propulsion officer here in Mission Control reports that we have safed the prop system on Integrity.
Can you say again? That was very weak and broken.
Oh, man.
Integrity Houston did not call.
Copy that, Houston. It might have been on the SAR radio. Stand by.
All of the milestones were executed in perfect fashion. Integrity entering the Earth's atmosphere right on time reaching its peak speed shortly after a blackout period began. We emerged from the blackout period, but the recovery imagery airborne assets were able to pick up Integrity's descent almost immediately through entry interface, tracking the vehicle all the way down. And finally, you saw the sequence of chute deployments. First, the forward bay cover being pulled off the top of the vehicle by a series of 3 parachutes. Then the drogue chutes were deployed, followed by the 3 main chutes that slowed the splashdown velocity of Integrity to just 19 miles an hour.
Integrity, Houston, with NoJoy on SAR and SAT phone, we'd like you to command an additional 15 minutes for a total of 30-minute power down delay.
All right, Jackie, we have selected T/D+30. NoJoy on SAR radio or sat phone. And stand by, we have the master diver on SAR radio. Please hold comms.
Hey, Lily. Excuse me. Hey, Jackie, we just got the master diver on SAR.
Good view of one of the fast boats.
Integrity, Houston, if you are happy with your comm with Master Diver, you can go back to the 15-minute power down.
Okay, stand by. Yeah, we'll confirm here in a second.
The crew on board Integrity coordinating with the flight control team in Houston, here in Mission Control on the timing of the power down of the vehicle.
My brain just crashed out.
Which will be the precursor to the recovery teams approaching the spacecraft.
So tired.
There are no issues with Integrity. We've had a bit of broken capability in establishing a SARSAT or satellite phone communications capability between the crew on board Integrity and the recovery team. That will get sorted out here shortly. There's plenty of cooling on board Integrity, so there's no rush to begin the power down.
To call you on the sat phone and not getting an answer there either.
Concur. We haven't had anything come through.
And Houston, if you could relay to recovery that we hear them, but it does not appear as though they are hearing us.
Houston copies, and Reed, just to confirm, you are pushing the PTT on the radio.
So as we continue to sort out the communications between Integrity and the recovery teams, we are standing by for the initiation of the power down procedures that, as you see, the recovery teams are moving towards the side of the capsule. The next major event will be the erection of that large inflatable raft called the front porch. That will be the port of call for the crew as they're being extracted one by one from the vehicle.
Integrity Houston, for sat phone, we are going to attempt to call you.
Good idea, standing by.
And Jackie, yes, we are pushing the push to talk, the two buttons on the left side of the radio below the up-down arrows. We are utilizing them. I'm rebooting the radio to see if we get good comms.
Okay, we copy all, and just to confirm, you are seeing that you're touchdown plus 3030 for power, correct?
That's affirmative.
We are trying a backdoor approach to have mission control here call the crew on their satellite phone. This is all part of the coordination for the power down of the vehicle that will initiate the actual recovery operation. The first boats with the Navy divers on board are standing by, waiting to close in on Integrity to begin the process of erecting the large inflatable raft that's called the front porch that will be where the astronauts are extracted from so that they can have a few minutes to get their land legs back before they're hoisted aboard the Navy helicopters for the flight back to the deck of the USS John P. Murtha.
Cannot reply.
And Houston, please don't reply. NRD, very weak, but readable. Master Diver, we can hear, but they cannot hear us. And Houston on OE1, is there any chance to tie us into NRD?
Checking.
This is Mission Control, Houston. While we stand by for the establishment of communications between Integrity and the recovery team that is basically standing by very close to the spacecraft, we're going to go to the deck of the USS John P. Murtha, where Megan Cruz is standing by with Administrator Jared Isaacman.
Hey, Rob, yeah, just such an honor to be able to be here on the ship, to be able to share and experience this moment with everyone together. And of course, as you just said, yes, here with NASA Administrator Jared Isaacman. Administrator, how did you feel getting to witness this and seeing NASA at its best?
Oh, I mean, I'm honestly, I'm still at a loss for words. I mean, you know,
it's
like
fine for now.
Childhood Jared right now can't believe what I just saw. I mean, almost
get
like
another stack or something.
To see this, and then
I'm just so
as
tired, man.
I just couldn't be more proud of the entire workforce, the years, the effort, the late nights, all the hard work from across the country that contributed to this incredible moment right now. And yeah, incredibly grateful too for our teams here on the John P. Murtha right now.
Yeah, look at them behind us here.
Got everybody. Hey, what do you guys think? We just brought some astronauts back from the moon, huh? Unbelievable. Thank you. Yeah, so grateful to the Navy, the sailors that are here, the NASA teams. I mean, this is a joint effort that's on their way right now. These recovery forces are getting out to our Orion spacecraft, to Integrity, get our astronauts back on the ship safely.
Yeah, and this is not just an accomplishment for NASA. This is an accomplishment for humanity. Again, a historic mission to the moon and back. How does this make you feel, and what do you hope people take away from this?
Well, I'll tell you, I think about the crew members that we've all had an opportunity to observe over the last 10 days, right? I mean, they're absolutely professional astronauts. I mean, wonderful communicators, almost poets. But then I think these were the ambassadors from humanity to the stars that we sent out there right now. And I can't imagine a better crew than the Artemis II crew that just completed a perfect mission right now. So yes, it's a huge moment for everybody, right? I mean, we are back in the business of sending astronauts to the moon, bringing them back safely, and to set up for a series more. I mean, this is not a once in a lifetime, which you hear sometimes around here. It's like, this was a once in a lifetime. No, it's not. This is just the beginning. We are going to get back into doing this with frequency, sending missions to the moon until we land on it in 2028 and start building our base.
Yeah, are we going to build on the momentum for Artemis III? I mean, it's just around the corner.
Absolutely. So, I mean, that's, part of me too. Like, I can't wait to get the crew off of Integrity right now, but also getting Integrity back on this ship so we can start taking a look at it, because all that data is so precious to us right now. I mean, we are going to definitely want to take a good look at the thermal protection system. We're going to want to download all the data they couldn't transmit back to us and use that to inform Artemis 3. But we're already making progress, right? You had SRB segments already showing up at KSC. Core stage for Artemis 3 is rolling out on April 20th. We're getting Mobile Launcher 1 back in vehicle assembly building. So yes, there is a lot to celebrate right now on a mission well accomplished for Artemis 2, and at the same time, we got to start getting ready for 3.
Amazing. And last question, for people who joined us for all 10 days to see what we can accomplish together with our international partners, what do you think about the fact that we're going to keep doing this more and more and more?
It's incredibly exciting. I mean, yes, it's the contributions, like the best and brightest across the NASA workforce from across the country, our industry partners, our international partners. We had a Canadian Space Agency astronaut on board in Jeremy. We had the European Service Module. And you think, in the days leading up to this launch, I mean, 48 hours prior to launching Artemis II, I was meeting with the Italian Space Agency. We signed a memorandum of understanding to build a habitation module on the moon. I mean, you have countries, all of our allies and partners coming together saying, we are committed to this effort. We are returning to the moon. We're doing it to stay. We are building that enduring presence. We are going to master the skills on the surface of the moon so someday we can undertake missions to Mars. It's just an incredibly exciting time, and we're not going at it alone. We're bringing everybody along with us.
Absolutely. And speaking of everyone, one more time, we're going to ask the crew here, you guys ready to land on the moon? Awesome. I love that. Okay, well, thank you so much, Administrator. Appreciate you being here. We're, of course, going to stay on to watch the crew get extracted from Orion, so stay tuned, and we'll see you back here shortly.
Thank you, Megan, and thank you, Administrator Isaacman. We are in the process of working to establish that communications link and to establish the procedures that will lead to the power down of the spacecraft, which is gently bobbing in the Pacific following a bullseye touchdown that occurred at 7:07 p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time, 2.5 hours before sunset in the Pacific, southwest of San Diego. We have once again heard from the crew during that interview opportunity with the administrator, and we have 4 healthy crew members on board. We now have confirmation that the vehicle has been powered down as per the procedures. So we have vehicle powered down, and the flight control team here in Houston, Flight Director Rick Henfling, has handed over mission authority to the Exploration Ground Systems team out in the Pacific. Now, we will physically not get off console with this team until the crew has been extracted into the front porch, that inflatable raft that will be erected along the side hatch of Integrity. So we're standing by for that in the next step in the recovery procedures. But everything is in great shape, and we have 4 healthy crew members on board the vehicle.
Lately, I've been freezing pudding cups, and then
all of the entry events.
I think I talked about this recently.
Perfect trajectory for
I let those thaw slightly.
That was culminated with one
so I have 2 fortune cookies.
To improve the angle
Pop
of
these
attack
open.
for the vehicle as it entered the Earth's atmosphere. All of that flight dynamics computation.
Let's see what my fortune is today.
Worked like a charm.
Says you have an unusually magnetic personality. My lucky numbers are 9, 34, 11, 19, 20, and 3.
So we are standing by for the recovery team to approach Integrity and begin the process of erecting that inflatable raft called the front porch.
The second one.
Which will see the crew members.
Luck is coming your way.
From the hatch.
8, 15, 20, 21, 33, and 36.
Aboard, 2 Navy helicopters.
That's a lot of lucky numbers.
In a variety of different configurations, each crew member will be hoisted in sequential fashion, in alternating fashion.
These are a different brand than the last ones I got.
They turn around to head back to the John P. Murtha. Once on the deck of the ship, they'll be brought into medical bay for comprehensive medical exam.
I don't remember. It's like Golden Dragon or something.
Has reported several times that the crew is in excellent shape. So just to recap, it has been some 26.5 minutes since the splashdown of Integrity in the Pacific. The vehicle is in excellent shape. It performed like a champ all the way down through the Earth's atmosphere. All of the vehicle functions were checked off in excellent trip hammer fashion. The parachutes all deployed as planned. Splashdown occurring at 7:07 p.m. Central Time, 5:07 p.m. Pacific Time. And after a bit of a tussle to try to establish a communications link with the recovery team, we were finally able
also got this.
To run through the procedures for the powering
Body armor light, 0 sugar. Or no, it's just 0 sugar, it's not light.
Ground systems folks out in the Pacific, and
10 calories.
Recovery team will be approaching the vehicle shortly to erect the inflatable raft
Stevia,
the front porch
vitamins.
Before opening the hatch to Integrity to bring the crew members onto that raft before they're hoisted onto 2 Navy helicopters, 2 crew members for each helicopter before they're flown back to the deck of the USS John P. Murtha.
That's pretty good. I did get 2 of these so I can do a review of one, but obviously I'm drinking one right now. How's it going? How are you today? Just watching some of the NASA stuff while I'm messing around with computer programming. Oops, I still have this on here. And snacking on stuff. This is a watermelon strawberry 0 sugar body armor drink. So like sports drink. So if you're unfamiliar, this is from the moon fly, whatever, and it just dropped down to the Earth. So seems to be going well. Shrink down my camera slightly. I have these frozen pudding cups. I've been doing that lately. It's kind of fun, and it takes me longer to eat these, obviously, than it would just refrigerated one. So it's more entertaining. I don't hear any audio. I assume they're just not talking. I've seen some of the original moon stuff, and this is so familiar looking. But obviously we should have more technology these days. Oh, a lot of it seems relatively similar. Let's see if this is soft enough to work with. Still kind of hard.
This is Mission Control Houston. After talking to the Flight Dynamics folks, we have a bit of a refinement on the splashdown.
I'll turn their audio up a little bit.
Their computation shows a splashdown time of 7:07 and 27 seconds p.m. Central Time. 7:07 and 27 seconds p.m. Central Time. That would equate to a mission elapsed time of 9 days, 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 15 seconds. Once again, from Flight Dynamics, a
9 days
splashdown
of
time
space,
of 7:07
mostly.
and 27 seconds p.m. Central Time. That would equate to a mission elapsed time of 9 days, 1 hour, 32 minutes, and 15 seconds. Reports from the Pacific indicate that the recovery team, in communications with the crew aboard Integrity, that the crew remains in excellent shape as they await the approach of the team for a final hazard gas evaluation before they move to the side of the vehicle to erect the inflatable life raft called the front porch.
Where's my mouse? It's moving around so quick I can't even see it. Oh, here it is. Look at that thing. I have it at 480p resolution, so if you really want to watch it, it's probably good to just watch it.
With Integrity, the vehicle is powered down.
On the stream.
All of its systems are now
their stream.
safed. We have handed over mission authority to the Exploration Ground Systems folks in the Pacific, but we will not stand down and
not sure what the balloons on the top do. Maybe it prevents it from flipping over.
Inflatable raft, the front porch is erected, the hatch open, and the crew having exited the vehicle. So that's the next step in the recovery process that will lead to the hoisting of the crew members. For two crew
Is that
members
the front
for each
porch?
helicopter,
Those
they'll be
balloons?
hoisted to a pair of Navy helicopters that will then fly a short distance back to the USS John P. Murtha. What you're looking at is one of the fast boats circling the vehicle to make a hazard assessment.
Imagine being on the crew of that boat. It'd be really interesting. It's just 2 dudes on there? Huh. You'd think they'd have more people. So shiny. Oh, there's 3 guys on there. That's some sort of rod or something. I don't know if they're trying to attach to it or what. I guess having 3 people on there so that it could fit the crew makes sense. Unless this is just like a preliminary thing. Struggling to speak sometimes.
This is Mission Control Houston. Once again, you're watching the initiation of the recovery of the Artemis crew aboard Integrity.
Huh.
All of the Navy divers and the fast
I wonder why
boats
they're all on
are
one
now
side.
approaching the spacecraft after conducting a hazard assessment. The vehicle has been powered down. Entry Flight Director Rick Henfling now waiting for the life raft, the front porch, to be erected along the side of the vehicle so that the hatch can be opened and the crew members extracted from Integrity, soon to be hoisted one by one into a pair of Navy helicopters for a short flight back to the deck of the USS John P. Murtha. If you missed it earlier, we talked to Flight Dynamics and received a more official touchdown time or splashdown time, as it were, of 7:07 and 27 seconds p.m. Central Time, 5:07 and 27 seconds p.m. Pacific Time. That would equate to a mission elapsed time of 9 days, 1 hour, 32 minutes.
I would assume they put them on their own helicopter each. It's kind of extreme, but there's one of them. Yeah, space stuff becomes more commonplace. This whole fanfare and stuff, you know, for one mission is, you know, I don't know how that would work. cool for now, of course. And then until, if it ever becomes possible, to make it cost effective enough, you know, or low cost enough. And it's still safe. Which, I don't know if it's especially safe. I have to look at the percentages. See, it's probably not that safe. Let's pull up a browser window. Oh, I've got one here.
Continuing to get excellent views from the imagery assets out at sea in the Pacific of Integrity. We continue to get good reports from the landing and support officer who's in contact with the recovery team that the crew is in excellent shape, no issues. They're just
I don't even know how I could phrase this.
Biding their time, waiting for the front porch to be erected. We have no hazardous hazard gases and no hazardous situation with the vehicle. It performed perfectly all the way down from entry interface to its splashdown in the Pacific at 7:07 and 27 seconds p.m. Central Time. And as you can see, the first phalanx of recovery personnel now pulling up alongside of Integrity. This includes Navy divers, a Navy flight surgeon, and other recovery personnel who have trained for several years for this recovery process.
Oops, I got it blocked by my chat window thing. Yeah, it's significantly more dangerous. Whoops. Per trip basis,
some 41 minutes following splashdown,
3.2%.
The vehicle has been powered down. There's no hazardous gas emanating from the vehicle. That's why the first team of recovery personnel has been able to pull alongside Integrity. And the reports continue to come in that the 4 astronauts are in excellent shape.
$1 in 11 million for flying.
Yes.
$1 in 5,000 for driving. $1 in 100, or as high as 1 in 9. If you measure safety by passenger miles, .23 deaths per 100 billion kilometers. Driving is 0.41.
This is Mission Control Houston, continuing to watch the initiation of the recovery of Integrity's astronauts. One by one, they'll be brought out of the spacecraft onto a large inflatable raft just a short time from now. In the meantime, we can go back to the USS John P. Murtha, where my colleague Megan
Props
Cruz
to
is standing
Soyuz.
by to provide her situation report. Megan, can you hear us?
Hey, Rob. Yes, I can hear you. Thank you. Yeah, we're back here on the bow of the recovery ship where there are still plenty of people peering out into the water. We are not very far from the action everyone is seeing on their screen now. The Orion spacecraft Integrity in the ocean, surrounded by a number of recovery boats. As Rob has been saying, in those recovery boats, NASA and Navy personnel specifically trained to get the astronauts out of Orion. In some of our wide shots, you can probably see that there are 6 boats out in the water. More than 40 people out in the water. So
maybe it is somewhat safe now. So I would assume they've flown back and forth to the International Space Station a lot. Launch aborts.
First order of business is to set up the front porch and the stabilization collar. You might also hear it referred to as a stab collar. Basically just to make sure that Orion stays upright, doesn't sway in the water too much, again, to make it easier for recovery forces to get the astronauts out. Again, we splashed down in the Pacific Ocean just after 5 p.m. Pacific time here. It's a requirement by NASA to be able to get the crew out of Orion within 2 hours of splashdown. So doing great on time so far. Plenty of time. No rush either. I was speaking to NASA flight surgeon Rick Schuring earlier in this broadcast, and he said to me, no rush to get the crew out. Just want to make sure that they're feeling good. And whenever they're ready to take their step out of Orion and onto that large raft, the front porch, folks will be ready. And as there are mission audio loops in Mission Control in Houston, there is a mission audio loop here on the ship, and it was just reported out that the side hatch is open. Side hatch of Integrity is open. You're getting these beautiful shots from our aerial assets. The ship itself, where I'm on, just 3,000 yards away. Again, plenty of people on the boat here, glued to the side closest to where they can see all this action. And again, with just 3,000 yards separating us, great views from the bow here. You can see now that side hatch is open. One of the Navy personnel is about to get inside there.
Oh, it literally, wow. That is interesting.
In they go. In total, 4 will go into Orion. So it'll be a little bit of a tight squeeze, but
whoops.
The goal is to have a recovery personnel with each astronaut assessing them. Boat's getting closer now. Again, that one that's right up against Orion, those are the divers that will go in to the spacecraft to check on each of the astronauts. These other boats will begin doing a number of things, putting on that stabilization collar onto Orion, building that front porch. Eventually, they will retrieve the parachutes, as well as tow Orion back to the well deck of the recovery ship here.
Yeah, this AI is not as smart as the Google Gemini Pro thing.
And so as we wait for
so didn't even respond to the
personnel to get their assessments of the crew inside of Orion, why don't we toss it back to Rob for an update?
Yeah, thank you, Megan. Here in Mission Control, Flight Director Rick Henfling and the entry team of flight controllers still on duty. The vehicle has been powered down for some time now. There are no hazardous gases.
Radiation protection.
Integrity that, of course, allowed the recovery personnel to approach the vehicle and then open the hatch
navigation
to begin the initial medical assessment of the crew, as you just indicated. Now we're standing by for the erection of that inflatable raft, the front porch, alongside of the vehicle that will enable the crew to be extracted one by one onto the raft, have a moment or two to get their land legs back before they're hoisted into 2 hovering Navy helicopters, 2 crew members for each helicopter
so
for a short flight back
apparently
to the deck.
The Dragon thing
the
was
USS
totally
John B.
automated.
Murtha.
Didn't even give the crew the ability to do anything.
All of Integrity's systems operated flawlessly throughout the course of the approach to the Earth, the entry into the Earth's atmosphere, and all of the key milestones that followed in this high-speed return to Earth for Integrity, a mission that spanned more than 694,000 miles from the vehicle's launch from the Kennedy Space Center atop the Space Launch System back on April 1st.
Well, 5,000 degrees Fahrenheit. So maybe the speeds are different. Oh, so 17,500 versus 25,000. About half the temperature of the sun. Okay. Chipping of the heat shield.
As we mentioned at the top of the broadcast, the last
From
time
a 6-bedroom mansion to a camper van.
that the Apollo program
well, they're not flying on the
down in the Pacific
space
was Apollo
station.
17 back on December 19th, 1972. So for the first time in some 53 and a half years, we have reenacted that with the arrival of Integrity's astronauts as they flew around the moon in that
Someone just fall into the water.
Flyby that began with a trans-lunar injection burn that took them out of Earth orbit following 24 hours of a high Earth orbit trajectory. The high Earth orbit trajectory enabled flight controllers here to have a full 24 hours to evaluate the systems on integrity and the condition of the crew before they would commit to flying to the moon.
That's interesting. Put my other thing back on. Snack review. Yep. Yeah. Sentences.
With the side hatch of Orion having been opened to set the stage for the erection of the inflatable life raft, known as the front porch, to be erected alongside the spacecraft for the extraction of the crew. Let's play for you an interview that my colleague Megan Cruz conducted on the USS John P. Murtha with Navy diver First Class David McMahon that explains how this process is unfolding.
Okay, Davey, so you and some of your team, one last look over of the stabilization collar, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what is this stabilization collar?
This is what's going to stabilize the capsule out there in the ocean. We don't know how good the weather or the waves will be that day, so this will help prevent any unnecessary occurrences from happening, stabilizing the capsule and the astronauts inside.
So basically this is a float that will go around Orion. I'm assuming that what they're doing
is
right
that
now,
the
these are the lines that
door,
will
what do they
attach
call
the
it?
collar onto
Front
Orion.
door? Front porch?
And so what are they doing here?
So we've got the lower
Guess that's the
line
porch.
that will secure the inflation device before we inflate it. That gives us the go-ahead that it's secure in its place, and then we'll inflate it, and then once that is done, we'll undo all the carabiners and get this orange line on top tied in the same fashion. And then this will be secured to the capsule, and the astronauts can safely take their first steps out of the capsule onto the front porch.
Okay, and how long will it take them to set up the stabilization collar?
We should definitely be able to handle this in under 10 minutes.
Okay, wow. And then you just mentioned the front porch. So basically,
it's a lot
after
of rope.
They set up the stabilization collar, then they set up what's called the front porch here.
That's correct.
Okay, and what's the front porch?
Front porch is basically a bigger waiting room for the astronauts to...
Oh, it's under the... It inflates under the entire capsule?
Okay, so the medical team that was inside with the crew, they're going to help them out and onto the front porch?
That is correct.
And then what happens here?
Oh, maybe that... Okay, that's... No. It's just like a secondary thing.
Give them lookovers and just make sure they're okay while we wait for the helicopters to show up.
Okay. How does it feel, I mean, your team, you, to be part of a mission that's returning astronauts from the moon in more than 50 years?
We all feel extremely honored to be a part of this, as well as a bigger mission for the Navy and joining up with NASA to do great things.
And do you feel like you and your team are ready?
Yes, very ready.
Cool. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Once again, the recovery operations are continuing out in the Pacific. We shortly should see that life raft, the front porch, erected alongside the side hatch of the vehicle. A number of flight controllers have come into the flight control room to receive congratulations from Entry Flight Director Rick Henfling. But we're going to stick with our operations out in the Pacific as we await the extraction of the 4 crew members who are reported to be in excellent condition. Again, while we stand by for that front porch to be erected alongside of the side hatch of the vehicle, let's go back to the USS John P. Murtha and Megan Cruz. Megan?
Hey, Rob. Pausing now to listen to some internal audio loops. Again, the operations team here on the ship communicating with everyone out on the water. It seems like currents are hindering them a little bit from unfurling and inflating the stabilization collar as well as the front porch. But again, the requirement to get the crew out within 2 hours of splashdown, plenty of time. So no concerns just yet. But as calm as the water looks, yeah, it looks like it's hindering the teams just a tad. You can see in some of our shots that side hatch still open. Again, inside there are now 8 people inside. 4 divers, Navy divers, all with medical training, each assigned to an astronaut each. Making sure that they're comfortable, feeling good. As you've heard us say in the broadcast, you know, they expect a little bit of discomfort. Again, these astronauts just traveled back to Earth at 25,000 miles an hour, a nearly 695,000 mile journey around the moon. If you think you get car sick.
Ship sick.
Again, 6 boats out there, lots of gear with them, just in case, right? As we said, the crew reported feeling great, but again,
NASA's good at just in case.
They weren't, right? NASA is all about making sure we think about every situation that can happen, and so of course wanted to be ready in case any of our astronauts needed
backups of backups.
medical attention while out there in the water. You see now teams again trying to set up the stabilization collar and front porch for the crew to get out of Orion. They need both, right? The stabilization collar will keep Orion from swaying as you see it is doing now. And then they will connect the front porch to the stabilization collar so that the crew can take 2 steps and they will be in the front porch. Not a lot of chatter on the mission audio loops. That's a good thing. Again, things proceeding pretty nominally, even if they're fighting some currents out there on the Pacific Ocean. Again, the goal, setting up the stabilization collar and the front porch so that the crew can rest comfortably in the front porch, get placed into harnesses so that 2 helicopters can lift them off the front porch and onto the USS John Murtha here. The helicopters are going to take turns picking up an astronaut. So again, Helo 1 and Helo 2. Okay, and the recovery team here on the ship just got a report from the undersea medical officer who is inside the capsule with the crew. He is reporting all 4 members are green. All of our 4 astronauts, Reed, Victor, Christina, Jeremy, green, meaning they are feeling great, not the complexion of their skin. They are feeling great, happy to be home, and ready to be extracted as soon as possible. And so, as I was saying, we have 2 helicopters circling the activity you're seeing on the water right now. Each will take turns picking up an astronaut. So Helo 1 will come on in, hover above the front porch, about 40 feet above the front porch. A Navy recovery specialist will be hoisted down into the front porch.
The restricted maneuvering doctrine is in effect.
Will connect to the first astronaut, which we're expecting to be Christina. And then Helo 2 comes around, picks up Jeremy, while Helo 1 stays above head. And then Helo 1 will come back in for another astronaut, and then Helo 2 for the last astronaut, and then back to the flight deck here on the recovery ship. I was talking to Assistant Artemis Recovery Director Paul Sierpinski. He said helos are a much quicker, safer way to get on board. They did actually consider boats, but then if you think about it, longer time, the crew would have to move through more of the ship. This way the helos will give a more direct, quicker route to the medical bay for our 4 astronauts. Beautiful shots from our aerial and imagery teams. Clouds have dissipated for a clear view from the bow of the recovery ship here. You can still see divers in the water there. Encircling Orion, that is that stabilization collar we've been telling you about. As you saw in that interview just a few minutes ago, they have to first connect it to Orion, and then once it's secured onto Orion, they can inflate it, and then they'll further secure it with other harnesses and lines. About an hour and 10 minutes since splashdown in the Pacific Ocean here. Reed, Victor, Christina, and Jeremy back home after a history-making mission to the moon and back. If you missed what we said just a couple of minutes ago, the undersea medical officer inside with the crew in Orion reporting all 4 crew members feeling great. Progress being made there on the stabilization collar. It looks like they are beginning to inflate it. And it looks like they're starting to unfold the front porch in order to get that into the water here shortly and inflate that as well. Again, more than 40 people out in the water right now. And those Navy and NASA personnel have been in the water for now about 4 hours.
This thing's flipping amazing. I mean, NASA's amazing.
The reason why they had to get out so early is
this
just to stage everything.
Gemini Pro.
And actually here on the ship, when there are flight operations happening, you can't have any.
Can't imagine what compute they're running that thing on.
Just because a flight deck can be a dangerous place, so they just want to focus on
it's probably some flipping humongous servers
coming and going from the ship, so that's why they wanted to get the boats in the water to make sure that they have all the time they needed for the flight ops. And then the same crew here out in the water, they will stay out in the water for a number of hours after we recover the crew and get them back on the ship, because then they have to recover Orion. All right, that stabilization collar looking good around Orion. We're now seeing some recovery personnel getting on to that collar. Again, they need to further attach it to Orion to make sure that it can really prop up the spacecraft. It's basically lifting it up off of the water just a tad. Again, so it's not so so it doesn't sway so much in the water there.
Oh, there's the front porch.
And now that front porch looks like it's nearly fully inflated as well.
Yeah.
You can see a much larger surface area.
So many helicopters around. The one that's filming it, and then that one. It's probably a bunch of other ones.
And so once the crew get out of Orion, they can stretch their legs a little bit on this front porch, get some fresh air. And enjoy this beautiful day here on their home planet. It appears teams now are about to connect the front porch to the stabilization collar. And at that point, when both are secure, we should soon see astronauts come out of Orion.
I think I need to give this thing an example of that app.
All these views you see also being fed to the Landing Force Operations Center here on the ship. Of course, it is very important for our recovery teams leading the mission to have all the views that you're seeing as well. Again, listening to their communication loop here on the ship. Very quiet, which is a good thing. It means things are going pretty nominally, meaning as expected. Again, all this activity happening just 3,000 yards away from the ship. So that means this will be a very quick flight back on the helicopters for the crew. 2-3 minutes, and then they'll be back here on the ship.
Yeah, this works.
Okay, saw a thumbs up from one of the personnel on the front porch. It looks like they are now getting ready to deploy what they call the Air Rescue Vest, ARV. And so this is the harness that each crew member will get into in order to be hoisted into the helicopters. Again, those helicopters hovering just about 40 feet above the front porch when they're ready to pick up each crew member.
This is Mission Control Houston. Behind me, a fairly raucous scene as hundreds of flight controllers have poured into the flight control room here. This is reminiscent of the scene after the final shuttle mission of STS-135, although that was the end of a program. This is only the beginning of a program with the textbook splashdown of Integrity and its 4 astronauts. We're standing by for the crew to be extracted from the spacecraft. Entry Flight Director Rick Henfling invited all of these flight controllers who have contributed to this mission to enter the flight control room to have an opportunity to receive well wishes and to share the mutual glow that exists in the wake of a textbook mission for Integrity. On the front screen here in Mission Control, a sign that says "Welcome Home Integrity, taking humanity back to the moon, going further, and returning safely to Earth." So all of that jubilation, part of the post-splashdown activities, even as we await the crew being extracted from the vehicle to be hoisted onto Navy helicopters for the trip back to the USS John P. Murtha. Once again here in Mission Control, this view of the Artemis Flight Control Room, known as the White Flight Control Room. This is the old shuttle flight control room, and now is the home of Artemis missions to the moon and beyond. Once again, quite a few flight controllers were invited in by Entry Flight Director Rick Henfling to share in the jubilation following the successful splashdown of Integrity. That splashdown occurring an hour and 22 minutes ago, as we stand by for the completion of the extraction of the crew, and ultimately they're hoisting onto Navy helicopters for a short flight back to the USS John P. Murtha. Splashdown occurred at 7:07 and 27 seconds p.m. Central Time. I had an opportunity to talk to the head of Flight Dynamics, Jeff Birch, a moment or two ago. He said the trajectory of Integrity coming through the Earth's atmosphere was so precise, they've never seen anything line up on a ground track like today's entry by Integrity for its splashdown southwest of San Diego. And the initial, you can hear it. Jubilation here in the flight control room. The first crew member is out of Integrity.
Nice.
We are expecting the other crew members momentarily to be extracted. We now have 2 crew members out. 2 crew members out, 2 to go. We're about 1 hour from sunset out in the Pacific. Everything continues to go well. Integrity's systems function perfectly during its entry back to Earth. And Reid Wiseman, the commander who will be last out of the vehicle, reported that all the crew members were feeling very well.
Let's see how it likes that. I have Brain 2 AI.
Crew member number 3 now out. And now standing by for the commander, Reid Wiseman, who will be last out of his ship. Bobbing in the Pacific under almost ideal conditions, Integrity spanned 694,000 miles during its journey from launch to splashdown. And we now have Reid Wiseman out of the vehicle, all 4 crew members now out of Integrity. Once again, all 4 crew members now on the front porch, and the procedure to begin hoisting them up to these 2 Navy helicopters hovering overhead will begin shortly.
Nice. Okay, that's the front porch. Okay. I see. Yay. Dude got a backpack on. Hmm.
This is Mission Control Houston. The mission is over, but the melody lingers on. as jubilation continues here in the flight control room. We should be expecting NASA's Associate Administrator, Amit Kshatriya, to be joining us shortly for a short interview while the recovery operations continue out in the Pacific. So we'll stand by for that. And then we'll turn it back over to Megan Cruz aboard the USS John P. Murtha.
This is something else. Yeah, that's good. I'm just reading this AI's ideas for writing some sort of automatic editor, at least initially with the food and drink reviews. Because I like to make vertical shorts. How's it going? Just watching some of the NASA stream and then also trying to do some programming stuff. Nice. Playing TFT lately.
Houston here in the Artemis flight control room.
Have you tried that Space Gods one?
Basking in the glory of the successful
it's in the beta
of this mission
program or whatever it's called. Oh, Plat 3. Okay, so regular TFT.
And the first test flight of Orion.
That's tough.
With crew members on board. Splashdown occurring an hour and 32 minutes ago. After
you don't have the PBE thing.
Back into the Earth's atmosphere for the vehicle. It's 4 crew members in good
turn
shape.
Them down a little bit.
Simply enjoying their time right now on the front porch, as it were, the inflatable raft alongside of their Integrity spacecraft. We're expecting Amit Kshatriya, the NASA Associate Administrator, to join us here momentarily for a brief interview.
It's kind of fun. I haven't done amazingly at it, but I'm not super great at the game in general. I like the space theme, no surprise. So that's cool. I'm not sure I understand what they're going to do with it. Oh, we're going to go in blind next week? Okay. So is it going to replace, like, what of the current game? The entire thing? Okay. That seems extreme just to get rid of the entire previous thing, but this is my first season, quote unquote, of playing it, so. I know they've got the chonks whatever mode, and then they have the Chinese, is it New Year one? Or whatever it is. And then the ranked, and then there's some other ones, but I don't know if they'll like keep some of it, maybe, who knows. Oh, it's all good. I'm just talking about random stuff. They may keep the specials. Okay. That'll be cool. Will the actual ranked stuff totally swap? That's surprising to me, but I guess it makes sense.
Control Houston. We're about an hour and 34 minutes since the textbook splashdown of integrity in the Pacific to bring home our astronauts. And with us now is Amit Kshatriya, the NASA Associate Administrator. Amit, a little bit of history made tonight, a little bit of history made over the past few weeks. Your thoughts as this team here basks in the glow of what they just accomplished?
Yeah, Rob, we're here in the control center, and it's kind of overrun with jubilant folks in the mission control, Houston, as well as engineering, and folks that just
reset. Oh man!
As we watch our crew get extracted from the vehicle, and you know, my thought is always about these teams. The team that's in the water right now, pulling the crew out. The team here in Houston that worked so hard over the last 10 days, no sleep to get this done. You know, we still have some work to do to get the crew to the med bay here on the ship. They all look great coming out, so hopefully that won't be too long. You know, I think we saw the administrator on the boat too, giving his thanks to the Navy team on the Mirtha, which they're just an incredible group of sailors. I was able to visit with them a couple weeks ago, and then if you pull it all the way back to the workers and the folks that joined the rocket at Michoud, that made the heat shield tiles, that held together.
Trying to get into Emeralds?
You know, that stacked the vehicle in Florida, that integrated the vehicle in Denver.
Are you doing actual
fired the engines at Stennis, that fired the boosters,
reading up on the game, or just playing it over and over again?
By the environment that this machine went through, and they did it right. The work was good. They did it right.
You've said in a number of briefings, of course, and in other forums that this is just the first step. The cadence has to step up, as the administrator has indicated. Now, it's a little early for the full report card on how Integrity did, but did this mission ultimately, from your eyes' view, exceed expectations?
It absolutely did. I mean, I was waiting to talk about this until we were in the water, and you know, I think we still have, again, work to do to bring it in and really kind of go through it bolt by bolt and see what we learned. But I mean, so far, given what we learned during the mission and given how we performed on ascent, on entry, you know, I always think about energy in terms of this
debating coaching. Okay.
Every time we put these machines through these,
yeah, it feels like.
So I'm fairly confident that we made a big step tonight.
This guy's kind of loud for me. I don't know if it's loud for you.
The path to the surface is open now.
It's gonna turn him down a little bit.
And we'll make sure we talk about that as cleanly as we can. We learned a few things during the mission, but
yeah.
I have to tell you, this
like I said, I've played it on stream. I only played on stream, but it's totally different. It doesn't have the carousel thing. Countering builds, yeah, that makes sense. I see people pop into my field quite a bit in the new game.
You know, I have not been able to watch a lot of the coverage,
yeah, all of the types are different, but it does have groups that seem similar. Like the Yordles are basically, it looks like they're the meeples in the new game, which it does work differently, and they have different stat type things, like what they get after you have so many of them, type of thing. But yeah, different groups, a mix. There's some of the same lead characters and some different ones now. I think if there's anything worth mentioning. Yeah.
Hopefully they grow up to recognize they can do amazing things when they work together and contribute to society.
I could play a game of it. I don't know if you want to be spoiled though and see it instead of experiencing it for yourself.
And one final question. You know, flying to the moon, we did it. We've done it again this past week and a half or so.
Let's see.
But the engineering that went behind the design of this mission and the precision, the pinpoint precision of this vehicle entering that entry corridor, it's almost mind-boggling.
Yeah, it is incredible when you think about the energies involved and the uncertainties involved. That you know, when we inserted the vehicle into orbit, it was 99.2% down the middle. When we dropped the vehicle right on top of the fleet here, you know, our guys knew exactly where to go, but the guidance was perfect. You know, and it's interesting. I've got this question a lot over the last few weeks about. You know, we did this
put the entire
ago, and you know I mean, it is a reasonable thing to contemplate, like what's gone on since then. And what I'd tell you is, when we did Apollo, which again, the more we learn about what they did, the more magical it seems what they were able to accomplish given the technology and the learnings that they had. But when we did Apollo, the architects of Apollo, Gilbert, Seaman, von Braun, Mueller, what they really wanted to do, as they were contemplating what it meant to expand our range of action to the lunar surface,
I wonder if they include
learn how to live and work in space for a long time.
Caption data.
They wanted to do that first before they were confident they could expand their range of action to the moon. Now, of course,
lagging, so it wouldn't be worth it. Okay.
At the time was different, and so they had to go
to
the moon and bring people home. And then after that, the program kind of lost its momentum. But after that, NASA kept moving along those paths, right? So we recognized during Apollo that reusability was going to be important. We spent a lot of money on those machines, and we spent a lot of money on these machines here. Even though, but we recognized that reusability was important, which is why we built a winged space plane called Space Shuttle, and then we used that reusable machine and we learned for 25 years how to live and work in space, and have been able to
I'll go with you.
That can enable exploration. So really,
that's for the other person in the chat. That's one of my IRL friends.
The architects of Apollo would have been pleased that we're now ready to actually go back.
Okay,
go back to stage.
I'll head over in a little bit. Going to sign out. This was a fun stream with the NASA stuff. If you go on the NASA's actual stream, you can get a little emote after an hour. So that's why I did it mostly. Anyways, I'm going to sign out. See ya.